they say all men are created equal.
Shot! Master!
I'll pull out the Glock.
Full of suffering, succotash, son.
It's one of your nuts hanging out of your shorts.
Real glass!
You have a father, but your father's dead.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Too Sweet podcast. Estelle and I are back with a really fun episode that I've been really excited to do for a long time. If you've been here since the beginning, or maybe you've gone back in the trenches on our channel, you might have seen us do an AEW roster tier ranking. And we've wanted to revisit that for a long time. It's been 1 year since we've done it. It's the 1 year anniversary of the channel, and we thought this is the perfect time to revisit our tier list that caused a lot of controversy, and we'll probably do the same now. If you've not watched the first one, there's no point going back and listening to that now, because that was the first that was the first episode we ever did. You know, I think we're a lot more confident, a lot better at this now than we were back then, and also like our opinions have changed, so that's why we're doing it again. It's not just like, you know, we're not hypocrites. If we put people in different tiers, you know, that's the beauty of wrestling. You know, things change, things evolve. So that's kind of why we wanted to revisit it. So yeah, Estelle, have you got anything to add?
Yeah, and also obviously new people have joined the roster, so that's another reason to do it. And yeah, it's kind of wild that it's been a year. I mean, I watched a few clips from the video, and it was just so different back then. Like, we've come so far. Like, yeah, when I remember editing that, and every minute needed to be edited because there was such long gaps in between us, because, you know, we've been friends outside of this for like years now, but sitting down and doing a podcast and just getting that flow, getting that cadence, it's really difficult. So there was a lot of technical difficulties. Obviously we didn't have our stunning logo. We had the logo version 1.0, and we were just like shy. We were just like little babies back then. So yeah, and I think like being more confident in the show, but also like in our opinions and being more assertive in that. Like, yeah,
for sure.
So if anyone, you know, obviously I want to hear your opinion. You know, if we don't want like smoke blowing up our ass, like if you don't agree with it, let us know. But also, if you want to make your own, it's in the public domain, so we will link it in the description if you want to create your own. Because as well with the tier ranking of 2025, I have created this one myself and gone through the roster and taken each image so it is accurate, because the first time we did it, we just used one that I think was a year out of date, and yeah, it was just a bit confusing, and there was like a few people that we missed out and we had to tag along the end. So this is the concise, updated 2025 version of the AEW roster in its entirety.
Yeah, Estelle's been working hard on putting this together, and it's beautiful. We'll screen share over to that in a moment, flip over to it. But yeah, thank you, Estelle, for that. Making sure it's all up to date, beautiful renders of all the wrestlers, and yeah, it's public on tiermaker.com. So if you want to go make your own, you can go find this. I think you can just search like AEW 2025 roster or something. Well, yeah, and like Estelle said, we'll link it in the description. So you can do it yourself. So if you disagree, make your own. So I mean, yeah, I'm excited to do this because since we did that was like the beginning of everything for us, and after that we wanted to consistently review Dynamite week on week, which is what we've done, you know, give or take one off few weeks here and there. We've pretty much, you know, weekly been putting out content reviewing Dynamite, so I do think we've got we were obviously watching AEW before, but like properly engaging with it week on week is very different, so I feel like we've maybe got more nuanced opinions now, which will definitely make this better and even more fun. So who knows? Last time it took us took me nearly 5 hours of to
Did
do.
it?
So yeah, I mean, it was like three 1.5 hour videos, like three parts. So do you think it'll take us longer or shorter this time?
Oh my God. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, grab yourself your favorite drink, sugary drink, alcoholic drink, energy drink, whatever you want. I've got myself a Vimto. We can't even see my cup because of my background. Um, put your feet up and relax. Maybe you could listen to this in the background while you're, I don't know, doing some crafts or driving or something. I
Crafts.
don't know.
Uh,
Maybe that's not our audience. But yeah, like Estelle said, we want to know what you think as well. So do let us know. Um, but with no further ado, shall we get into explaining our tiers? They are a little bit
yeah.
different to last time. So I'll share my screen and then we can all have a look at this beautiful, beautiful tier list. So we can see
Beautifully
the whole
coloured
roster
by
here.
Lucy.
It's quite
Yep.
lengthy, but beautiful. Again, thank you, Estelle. So yes, we've got our list, our tier ranking. So obviously, best at the top, worst at the bottom. We're starting off with the top tier being elite. That's the same as last time. That's self-explanatory. That's the best of the best. No notes, no improvements. Should we explain like the criteria for this?
Yeah.
So it's we're trying to take a holistic view on this and not be too biased. So, taking into account in ring work, promo, mic skills, but also booking as well because the presentation of the wrestler is important. So if they haven't been booked well, they might be the best wrestler in the world, but if they haven't been booked well, then that might not be their fault, but they're probably not going to make it into elite. And obviously personal bias is going to come to it a little bit. I guess this is kind of what this new tier means, replacing well, it's not replacing, but sort of instead of, we had 4 out of 5 stars last time. This time we've got my Shayla, which is like, they're not perfect, but you love them. They've got a special place.
Yeah, I think it's like to create like an A plus and then an A tier.
Yeah,
Because
right.
last time it was very much 4 out of 5 and elite, and there's a lot more nuanced than that. So it's kind of like you say, it's also going to take into consideration from booking and stuff. So perhaps we might put someone in my Shayla because of like their booking or maybe a bit of a subjectivity, things like that.
Yeah, yeah. And then moving down a little bit, we have mid, which again, it's just mid. It's just like not up there, but you're still good, but you're just not up there with the very best.
Yeah, it's good for what it is. It's the middle of the road. You need mid people. You need mid carders. They're an essential. They're not offensive. You can take or leave them.
Yeah,
Give them a bit of screen time. Mid.
exactly, exactly. Um, so then right in the middle we have create a wrestler or CAW for short. So these are like yeah, very generic wrestlers. Last time we called it Battle Royale fodder, which still does apply. It's the people who you need bodies to fill a battle royal or like a big tag team match. They're not standing out. You make them on Create a Wrestler. You'd with your Create a Wrestler, you spam the best moves. You give them a really good move set. It's not to say they're not a bad wrestler, but they're just pretty generic, really.
Yeah. I'm just thinking. I don't know. I'm just thinking for mid, should we put something in brackets for a bit of nuance? Because like
Mm-hmm.
people might feel like mid and create a wrestler are similar when they're not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe like, hmm, like take or leave it, good for what they are, something like that.
Yeah, on on mid, yeah.
Just so, because like there is a bit of positivity, it's not a negative category.
Yeah, and I do think that the word mid is sometimes has negative connotations, but we're not engaging in it in a negative way.
Yeah.
So then we've kept the I felt nothing can't be asked category. Just the people who you very neutral on. You can't be bothered. You don't really have any strong feelings one way or the other.
Yeah, you feel nothing.
I felt
Which I guess is kind of similar to creative wrestler, but it's like to me, it's also like this dislike. Like you don't want to see him. This is like one of the more negative because the next one, not to jump ahead, Sammy Guevara, he is like, I cannot stand this person in real life. I cannot stand this person.
yeah.
Like, get them away from me.
Yeah.
And I felt nothing is like just like a step up above
Yeah, I
from that.
guess. Yeah, I guess it's not really like neutral, is it? Yeah. CBS suggests obviously it means can't be asked. Like you see this person on your screen and you feel negatively about it, but you don't
Negatively
hate them.
nothing.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
We're just complicating it. Yeah. Just yeah. Don't deep it. Don't deep it. What it says on the tin. Yeah.
I mean, what happened last time was we got into it and then like met 5 wrestlers in, we were like, we need some more nuance here, and we added another tier. So maybe that's gonna happen this time. We'll see. So yeah, we've already mentioned Sammy Guevara Heat. This one it was called X-Pac Heat last time, and we've just made it a bit more topical. Fuck you, Sammy Guevara. And lastly, we've got Don't Know You Love, which is just people who you don't know them. It's
Yeah. We can't judge him.
self-explanatory. You can't judge because you just don't know them. You've not seen many of their matches. You just don't know them.
Right. So I was thinking maybe if we do the champions, because they're first, maybe in between the men and the women's roster or something like that, just so we can warm up, because obviously I feel like we're gonna have a lot to say about those people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll skip past the champions for now.
Okay.
And this is looks like it's in alphabetical order. Um, so first on the list we have Alex Reynolds.
I felt nothing.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I don't hate him, but
Dark
not,
Order in general, I feel nothing towards them, and it's a real shame because I really, really loved um, them in the first rendition. I felt like they were very appropriate and perfect when Dynamite first started, and obviously being led by Brody Lee definitely added to their caliber. But what have they done since then? Nothing. So anyone in the Dark Order, I'm just like, I can't be asked.
yeah, we know your feelings about the Dark Order on this on this podcast,
I
but
don't even think that Eva Luna is on this tier list though. If you just go down to E,
um,
because I can't remember taking him. But this was taken from the official AEW website, right? I did not skip anyone out.
yeah, it doesn't look like he's on there.
So is he just not with the company anymore?
I
Not that it
guess.
really matters, but he was just on my mind because
Yeah,
Dark
yeah,
Order.
yeah. I mean, no, that's interesting because I didn't know that, but I guess not. I mean, I guess he's not been an in-ring talent for a while. Maybe that's why he's not on the roster um part of the website. But yeah. Um so yeah, starting off strong. I felt nothing. CBA. Let's move on to Aaron Solo next.
Felt nothing.
I was gonna say
And
I'm
kind of
following on
don't
the
know you,
same.
love.
Well, I can't remember the last time I saw him wrestle. I mean, I've seen him wrestle. I know him, but not recently.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
he was part of the QTV stable. So maybe that's the last time we saw him.
when was that? Ages ago.
Yeah. I mean, either I felt nothing or I don't know you, love. I don't feel like I know him that well.
Um, we'll go with I felt nothing because I feel like we do know him.
Okay.
Um, next
Like
up
a
is
subconscious memory.
yeah, he's in my brain somewhere. He's living in there. We've got
Rent
Action
free.
Andretti next.
Creator wrestler. All of Top Flight, creator wrestler for me. It's so generic. So, I mean, how one of them can crush a bottle in 3 seconds, and that is the peak of the entertainment aspect of that team.
You know, this is
So fucking boring.
I
How can you be
listen.
boring when your whole thing is high flying?
Yeah, that's quite a feat. I listened back to like the first sort of half an hour of our what we did last time. Obviously, alphabetical order. It's a few of the same people. You said the exact same thing, like nearly word for word last time about Top Flight. And I don't think anyone's changed on the tier ranking from last time so far.
And this
So
is the
yeah.
thing, it's been like a whole year as well. So like as much as I don't implore you to go back and watch that first tier ranking video, it's like you would hope that the people who were ranked lower or mid moved up the card within a year. The thing is as well is I don't even think it's on their booking. Like I think it's just genuinely them not knowing how to market themselves. I think it's another case of those groups of people who don't seem to have any drive to want to be the best. Like they just kind of strike me as like they want to show up, smile, do the job, but like they don't. To me, they don't have that hunger and that passion, and that's like a big thing for me because if they had hunger and passion, like I felt like they really wanted it, then I'll probably rank them higher because I'd be like, yeah, the booking is shit, but they deserve to be higher. But when I'm looking at these people and they've been in the mid to bottom tier of the card and they don't seem to really care, it's like, you know.
Yeah, but it's like we don't know obviously what's happening backstage. Maybe they have pushed for something, but they've just not been given it. But what is that reason? We just don't know. But like, yeah,
True.
it's been a year and we've not seen anything else from you to care. It's definitely telling. On that note, let's move along. We have Adam Cole up next, and I mean, I feel like this is quite a complicated
Fuck me.
one.
Where was he last time? Can you remember?
No, because I I don't think we got up to him to what I listened to, which seems strange if it was in alphabetical order. I think he was maybe somewhere else on the list, or maybe he was one of the ones we maybe had to add on at the end. So no, I can't remember. I don't know.
For me, Adam Cole right now is creator wrestler.
Oh,
It's the honest truth. He is creator
ouch.
wrestler. He's very generic. He's got the thing is, it's like the nuance in his character of him being a heel was more overt. I would put him up to mid good for what they are. But the fact that they've just played the Undisputed Kingdom and then the stuff with Roddy and Kyle so middle of the road and so we're friends and we're here to
Yeah.
be friends and wrestle. It's no. No, 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 no. No. And we cried when he returned.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It really got us.
We literally, both of us literally did. Because, all right, it's hard because, you know, how many months ago? Quite a long time ago. I mean, all in, the peak of Adam Cole. He'd be in elite probably, no question about it.
Yeah.
How it's fell off a lot. Obviously, he can't help getting injured. That was a real shame.
Mm.
The Devil storyline tanked. And but the thing is, I think he could have had an opportunity to do something really good when he come back. But it's always hard to come back because it was such a lengthy absence and there were so many other things going on the roster. But it has been, yeah, it's been really disappointing. So, you know, it's difficult because I feel really harsh putting him in a creator wrestler, but it's like, to what extent do you
It's the
consider
truth
what
though,
they've
innit?
done in the past, or do you just focus on the now?
The now. And I really love Adam Cole. I really love him uh, outside of wrestling. I think he seems like one of the better people, very humble, very down to earth, but it feels like now, like, what is the Adam Cole character? Because now it just feels like he doesn't even play a character. Like, he just plays who he is in real life, which is a nice guy. I feel like he has really, really lost his edge. And I feel like they've kind of tried to tease it in the background, like simmering in the background, but it's faded out and faded out and faded out. And as I say now, it's just, there's nothing there. There's just absolutely nothing there. And a lot of work needs to be done to rehab his character, and yeah, that work does not. I don't even feel like we're on the road to rehabbing. It's just total plateau right now, and it's harsh, but it's true.
It's harsh. It is harsh. And I feel like create a wrestler is just too harsh.
No, it's not. What has he done? Good for what he is. What has he done that's good for what he is? He is a generic 2K smiling, no personality babyface. He's
been
got
Adam
nothing to
Cole.
his character.
It's been Adam Cole. That's what that's what he's
Well,
done.
do you know what? It's good. He needs to be there, and hopefully in a year's time he can move up. But we're judging on March the 21st, 2025, and I can tell you, for the past 3 months of 2025, man's done now.
I mean, yeah, almost literally, he's not been on TV much, and what he has done has been, I mean, very boring. Just
I hope,
bringing the
I hope
Undisputed
he,
Kingdom
I
back
hope,
together is shit. Sorry, go on.
I hope he can move up. Like I do
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
like him. That's the thing, and that's why it's frustrating, and that's why I feel like I want to put him as low as I want to do because I want, I want him to click on this video and have a good reflection and dig down deep
I
and
hope
think,
he's
you know
not
what, they're right.
watching. He's too busy streaming on Twitch. Um, I mean, you make a good argument that it now, today, right now,
Mhm.
yeah, that's where he stands, and I can't argue with you. I mean, for that reason, you're right. I I want to put him here because in my heart, but I know that you're right. So yeah, okay, Adam Cole, create a wrestler.
Maybe.
Come at us in the comments. Here we are, 4 wrestlers in. Okay. Well, we'll move swiftly on from Adam Cole then. We have another Adam, Hangman Adam Page. I mean, a beautiful man inside and
Absolutely
out.
elite.
Of
There's
course, there's no debate
no
over that.
debate.
No debate to be had. Same, it's the same as last time. He he's not fallen down at all since this time last year. In fact, if anything, he's got better. Um, what can I say about him that everyone doesn't already know?
Yeah, literally. And he hadn't even held a title within this time frame either.
Oh wow, I didn't even think that didn't even cross my mind because he carries himself like a champ.
Exactly. He has the aura of he don't even need the belt. In fact, I think but based on his past title reign, he's better without the belt. He is such a perfect, like hungry, chasing. I mean, he don't want the belt. He just wants to kill Swerve. So that is the end goal. But I mean, what can you say about Hangman? Like he's got all the chops, right? He's got the character. He's got the look. He's a mascot. He's doing the best storytelling, acting, wrestling. I mean, even I won't forget when we saw him. I believe it was the first All In, and yeah, because he did the gauntlet, didn't he? The second one, but the first one it was the 4 man or the 6 man with like Jay White and Takeshita. No, maybe not Takeshita. Jay White, Kenny, and Hangman was there, and I remember even being right up in the nosebleeds watching him and doing like the way he performed and how agile he was and the spots he was doing and seeing that in person, he's just got like another level of star power. I can't, you know.
Yeah, yeah, he's so unique. He carries himself, like I said, in such a way that he's very distinguishable. His character's very nuanced and he's continued to develop it. And he's an amazing actor. I think that really sets him apart from other wrestlers. He can do a lot with just his facial expressions and his body language, and he can really go in the ring, and he always puts on a really great match, and he always tells a very good story. Yeah, you just can't. He's very reliable, and you can always trust him to give his everything to a feud. And he also seems like a really sound guy outside of the ring. Like, he loves gardening. I live for his post on Blue Sky. Like, yeah, he belongs at the top.
Yeah, he's the perfect, like, who you want to represent your brand. Without him, there'd be a massive, massive hole in AEW, and he is, he's one of, I know the pillars is like a gimmick, the four pillars, but he's like one of the pillars of AEW of this time period. He would be in if AEW had Mount Rushmore. He would have to be in that
Yeah.
conversation, which is an interesting question. Who would be in your top four for AEW since like its inception? Answer that in the comments. But yeah,
Yeah, that could be a video in the future. Definitely. I think we've covered that quite thoroughly. And if you're gonna argue against Hangman Adam Page being an elite, just go outside and touch some grass. Um, so let's move on. We have Alex Abrahantes next. Sorry, I don't know. Did I say that right? Sorry, I don't know if I did.
I think he's mid. I think he's good for what he is. He's a mouthy manager. I think I quite enjoyed him with the Lucha Bros. I think, he did. He did all right in that role, and
What's he doing now?
he's with he's with someone else that is Lucha. Lucha. Then when people used to do that.
Yes, I remember it very
That
clearly.
was crazy. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Oh, he's currently acting as the manager for Commander. So it's like, you know what? He's fine. He's fulfilling a role.
I mean, I can't. Yeah, yeah, but it's just quite painful to me visually to look at this.
Well, it's different requirements in it though. Like what you got to think is like it's a different requirement to be a manager than it is to be a wrestler. It's a
Yeah,
different stakes.
true, true. I mean, he's very charismatic. He's good as a manager.
Yeah, I like him.
It's not, I think it's like people think it's easy to be a manager or they're not important, but it's certainly a skill and it's not easy to do it right. Um, yeah, good for what he is. I mean, that fits him just right, I guess. So yeah,
Yeah.
this just ain't sitting right with me. I just Adam Cole is not sitting right with me, but I'm gonna move on so that I don't dwell on it. We've got Angelico next.
I really enjoyed Angelico and Jack Evans when they were together. I thought they were very, very underrated, but you got to put him in
Create a wrestler.
either core or I felt nothing. I feel like create a wrestler though, because like I enjoy him when I get to see him.
And this is the point last time when we got to Angelico where we debated it for a long time and we ended up creating
Did we actually?
another tier just for Angelico.
Yeah.
So I mean we're doing better. We're being more decisive this time. Proud of us. So we have Cool Hand Ange next up.
I think he's. I want to put good for what he is, because I enjoy his act.
Are you being serious?
Yeah. I will accept him and create a wrestler, but I do quite have like a soft spot for him.
Damn girl. I mean, Fair enough. Fair enough. But
We can put him in core.
that, I mean,
Do
I
you know
just.
what? Let's move Alex Abrahantes down to core as well.
Oh, really? Change your
Yeah,
mind.
let's move him down to core because like we had to Google search who he was with right now, and we are just kind of resting on the laurels of the Lucha Bros.
That's yeah, yeah. Okay, 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 okay.
And now we can move Cool Hand up to mid. I'm joking.
Right. Oh, I see your
I'm not.
agenda. That's the agenda, right? I mean, yeah, he is mid. He is mid, and
But he's
he's
got
not
more of a personality than Adam Cole. He's got a cool hand. He wears one
currently.
glove on one hand. Right, put him in core. Put him in core. Put him in core. But I do like him.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't think he's like a generic. He's got personality. I agree he's mid, but like just in the context of this list, I wouldn't put
Yeah.
him in mid. So
Okay.
yeah, we're settled on that. So far we've got creator wrestler and I felt nothing really, leading the way.
Stacked.
Adam Page is holding this whole thing up. Okay, so we're moving on to Anthony Bowens now.
Mid. Good for what he is.
Yes. I think that's quite a simple one because he's the less annoying of the acclaimed. We were singing the praises of the acclaimed last time, can I just add? Like
Really?
we were loving the acclaimed.
All up their ass.
That's the Anthony Bowens effect because since they split, Max Caster, I mean, not to spoilers or anything, but he's down here and alongside Sammy Guevara. Their act when we did it last time wasn't stale yet. It quickly got quite stale, and it was like
Right.
they were doing the same thing, weren't they, last year? They needed a split. They've sort of had a split, but it wasn't interesting. They didn't do anything with it. But Anthony is a good wrestler, and he's got personality. He's not really doing anything at the moment, but he's good for what he is.
Yeah, he's good in ring. He's got a likable personality, fits the baby face role well. He's got root ability, but you can't put him in my Shayla. He's not that
He's not, yeah.
endearing. But I do think this is like a make or break because I think even next year he'd either be the same bumped up or either going down because I think it's like, okay, like you've been split, you've got some time to shine. He's probably maybe going to be in the Owen Hart. I don't know. Give him some tournaments. Give him some more matches, some more physical matchups on Collision, and let's just see how we go.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. I think that he's got the potential to do really well. But it's just what do you do with him? Don't don't have the answer for that, but I think he's definitely got the potential. Next up on the list is Anthony Ogogo.
I felt nothing.
Same. Um, he's British, isn't he? And I feel like a few years ago he was quite big, and I don't think he's done anything if not lately.
Yeah.
AR Fox. He wrestled on
This is
Dynamite this week.
difficult. This is difficult because I feel like for me, he's in all three of I felt nothing, creative wrestler, but he's also good for what he is. He's also quite mid.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good match against Osprey this
I
week.
put him in mid because, yeah, he's good for what he is. He's reliable. He can put on a good match. It's similar to Bowens in that he's great in ring and he's got some rootability and some favour with the crowd, but it would be nice to see him do a bit more.
Yeah, he's not had much chance to do anything really.
Yeah.
So yeah, agreed. Aria Davari.
I felt nothing.
I felt nothing. I don't really have anything to say other than I felt nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. That's where we're at.
Do you want to do the guns together?
Um, yeah, we will do.
Okay,
Um, the guns. It's difficult because they've been away for a while. So, like before, I think I would have put them in my Shayla, but I think for right now they're in mid because same case with Bowen's AR Fox. Like, I feel like they're being hopefully led up to go against the Hurt Syndicate. We saw the promo
yeah,
package last week of them asking for some opponents. We've had video packages of the guns coming back, and they're like montages. So hopefully, and then we can get reinvested in them. But yeah, it's difficult because I think they've kind of just followed the momentum of Jay White being cheered. So then he's kind of had the babyface
yeah,
thing going on, but then it's kind of left Bullet Club Gold. And then with Juicy, who's kind of gone for a while out with injury, it's kind of left them their identity as a faction sort of fractured a bit and kind of slowed down the momentum of everyone else who, to an extent, as much as I love the guns and I love Juice, they do kind of ride on Jay White. Like, Jay White is the star of that faction. So yeah, but I hope they can move up. I hope they can do more. And yeah,
yeah. I mean, I don't have as strong like feelings towards them as you do. Number one Jay White fan over here. But yeah, I think they're good. It's just they don't really stand on their own. I was gonna say 2 feet, but there's two of them 4 feet. Like
4 feet.
other than away from Jay White. So I think you're absolutely right. I would definitely go for mid.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll go on to Bandido now.
Do you know what? For the meme creator wrestler, it would be I felt nothing, but
Ooh, you're
like
gonna offend a
he
lot of
does kind of
people.
he does kind of make me laugh.
I mean, yeah, I think.
He's so generic that he makes me laugh.
Well, we had a lot of people defending him in our comments section when you last talked
But
shit about him.
well, you can make your own and create your own tier called the Bandido tier above Elite if you want. That helps you sleep at night.
I mean, I'm talking shit. I agree. So moving past Bandido, then we have Redwood, my boy.
My Shayla. That's my Shayla right there.
I knew you'd say that. I just knew you were going to say that. I mean, to be fair though, I don't.
Oh, look at that's where he belongs. Look at him up. Look at his little face up there.
I mean,
What a babe.
I don't really disagree. He's very endearing.
He is. He's an endearing lad.
And he's got a lot of potential to be good. He's very funny. He's not bad in the ring. Yeah.
Yeah. I've enjoyed every match, every segment that he's been a part of, and he's the saving grace of. Well, I do like Brian Keith too, but he is the saving grace of the Learning Tree stable, and yeah, just a big Bill stan in this house.
Mhm. Yeah. So there we have it. Big Bill, number one entrant into the My
Yeah,
Sherlock category. Um. Next up we have Daddy Ass, Billy Gunn.
can't be asked.
Oh,
I've had
out.
enough. I've had
You've
enough
had
of him.
enough.
I feel like we've sucked all the life that we possibly can, unless he's gonna go do something with the guns just to ride him out and off into the sunset. I think that'd be a lovely conclusion. But
Yeah,
it's
that would
like
be nice.
we've done the feud with the guns, we've done the mentorship with the acclaimed, and we also had the weird, awkward retirement that wasn't a retirement, leaving the boots in the ring emotional moment. We've rode the wave. We've rode that wave, and the wave has crashed out now, and it's time to just let that wave go back into the ocean, far away.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not. I don't think that's dead offensive, really, because he's not. He was good with the Acclaimed for a long time, and that's fizzled out. So now what? Let it fizzle out naturally. I agree with you. So yeah, I felt nothing. Can't be asked. Fair enough. We have Bishop Khan next.
Don't know, you love.
Yeah, I'm afraid I don't know him. Think he gets of Agony wrestling on Ring of Honor mostly.
Well, yeah, if we don't know someone, chances are the Ring of Honor is where they be.
Yeah, and I said this last time. It's the same. I want to watch Ring of Honor. I want to watch all the wrestling, and maybe not WWE, but I want to watch it. But I don't have time. You go.
We got podcasts to film.
You know, we've got podcasts to film. We've got jobs to go to. We've got grass to touch. Can't do it all, can you? Oh, we have Bobby Lashley's on this list twice as part of the Hurt Syndicate and
Should we just
as a singles wrestler.
do the Hurt Syndicate with their graphic together?
Yeah.
And just yeah. So for me, I'd put him in my Shayla.
Not elite.
No, not. They've only just come over. Do you know what I mean? They're
thought-
just starting
yeah.
out. They're just carving their own little niche in AEW. Obviously, they've carved out a huge niche in wrestling as a whole, but this is a AEW roster ranking. It's not a career ranking. It's not. Be very different if we were, and kind of interesting if we were doing it in the scheme of people's whole careers. But yeah, I think they belong there. It's comfortable.
Yeah, and I thought you might say that. I feel like what they've done so far has been really good, but yeah, they've just not been there long enough to bump them up to this elite category. But you know, no doubt that they can make it up there. Really good for the tag division. So yeah, agreed. Who's this? Is this Brandon Cutler?
I believe so. From the distance away that I am.
So, what do you feel about Brandon Cutler? I mean, personally, I don't feel anything.
Yeah, I do. I think he's ran his course. It's great that he could come into AEW as a Bucks friend. I think he had a great place on being the elite, and he was great for dark and also dark matches and as like a little buffer. But we've grown past that era of AEW now, and so him just being in a backstage role is fitting, I feel.
Yep, that's totally fair
Oh
assessment.
God, sorry, I've just seen
You're skipping ahead. You've seen who's coming up. We've got Estelle's favourite big beefy male,
Get
Brian
him in Sammy
Cage.
Guevara here. I despise.
You know, my feelings are neutral, so like your feelings of hatred do drag him down, I feel. Yeah, big. Oh wait, oh never mind. I thought we'd skip past someone then, but we haven't. Yeah, big, beefy men. You know, you got to have some sort of personality to go with that. You can't just roll on the tires of being beefy. So that's where we're at with that one.
I just think he's so fucking boring. He's so punchable. He's just, and he's a heel, right? But he's got no edge to him. No nothing. He's so generic. He's so vanilla. It's offensive. He offends me. I hate him.
Just the
And
look.
not with heel heat, like with Sammy Guevara, genuine X-Pac. Get the fuck out of my face. Like when I see a graphic of him, I groan, I roll my eyes.
You find him repulsive.
I do.
Well, I won't make you look at him any longer then. We'll go on to Brody King.
I think he's mid. I think he's good for what he is.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Definitely not up here, not up in the top ranks, but I think that's any lower doesn't really feel fair So yeah.
As I said with mid, the category, it is mid card. It is an essential part. Not everyone can be on top. Not everyone can be like this is a very and everyone in mid deserves, in my opinion, deserves to be paid a decent amount of money and deserves to be on the contract that they're on. As we go down a bit further, I'd maybe it's not that I don't think they deserve to be here, but like I'd be rethinking how much I'd be paying them. But I think mid, yeah, I think that it's not, as I want to stress again, it's not a negative thing. It's just Brody, he clocks in, he puts on a great match. He's got something about him that makes him a step up from generic, and he's fine. He's a fine buffer for people to go against in between feuds, and yeah, he's got likability.
Should we slightly change the phrasing of this then to mid card? Just to make it super clear.
Yeah.
If you're interested in knowing our thoughts about the mid card and how important it is, we did a whole video about this.
Oh,
we did a
shit,
whole
we
episode
did.
of the podcast called The Nuance of the Mid Card. So do go back and listen to that one. And you'll see what we mean by this, and you'll see exactly what we mean by this not being a bad thing.
Yeah.
So let's then move along. This is an exciting one. Bryan Danielson.
It's very difficult because right now, obviously, he's signed to the company and he's only stepped out. Yeah, he's just going to be a part-timer now, and we don't know when he's going to resume his wrestling in AEW. It doesn't seem like it's going to be any time in the foreseeable. So it's very, very difficult to judge him because, like, obviously, I want to put him in elite, but I want the elite to be like the top of the top and not that he doesn't belong there. So I kind of propose that we create like another tier where it's like, I mean, I don't know. I just don't feel like he belongs anywhere on this tier list because he's not here.
Yeah.
And we don't know when he's going to come back.
Yeah,
So-
that makes sense. Because if we're applying the same logic to him that we're applying to, say, Adam Cole, for example, who has been good in the past, is currently not good. If we're applying that to Bryan Danielson, he's not currently wrestling. So yeah, you'd be right. It's not. He doesn't really belong anywhere. But then it's like, oh,
We
do we
used
just
to have-
judge him on the last time he was in the ring? In which case, I'd put him in elite. So, what are you proposing in terms of a new category?
We used to have the obsolete category, although that does sound kind of harsh, but obsolete was just like either they're not with the company anymore or stuff like that. So I think, yeah, that just sits right with me.
Well, we'll add an obsolete category. Oh, wait. Hang on. I think I might have just made a mistake. Hang on.
No, it's there at the bottom. It says
Yeah.
new.
Yeah. There we go.
It's ruined your colour grading though.
Yeah, I'll give it a different colour. Pink?
Oh,
Pinky
very
purple?
yeah, very lovely.
Yeah, that's nice. That'll do. Have I spelled obsolete wrong? Yes, I have. So yeah, we're not saying that Bryan Danielson is shit. Quite the opposite. Love him. Obviously, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. But it just, yeah, with the logic that we're tackling this with, it makes more sense to have him down here. Like, we can't judge him on at the moment, so we're not going to. He's just not here at the moment, so he's down here.
And it would be different if he was out from injury and we knew he was going to be back within a year or 6 months. Then I would judge him on his last performance. But because it is genuinely a case of we do not fucking know when he's going to be back, he probably doesn't even fucking know. And I cannot personally see it being for a good few years. That's why,
Wow, yes.
with good faith, I want to keep it the way it is.
I wonder if anyone else is going to end up down here, because I'm sure we'll see that. But that's interesting. But yeah, you're right. I think that's a logical addition to the tier list. So let's move on to the next wrestler on the list. We have Brian Keith.
I think he
bad
just
apple.
edges into mid card. Just.
Really? He doesn't join his fellow tree.
No, I don't think he's up there for me with Bill. But Bill's got a very. I want to buy like a shop AW. Need to create a shirt with like a big love heart and like Bill's face on it. You know.
Wow. But I think Brian Keith is really funny.
I think he's really funny too, but I don't think he's in like. I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm happy to put him in my Shayla. If you want to put him in my Shayla, I won't lose sleep over it. But for me, he just is like a little bit below Bill.
I think these two friends need to be next to each other.
These two friends, these two
These two
trees,
trees.
these two branches.
I I think they're both as good as each other.
Okay, they're both good workers.
Yeah. And they're both doing well. I mean, especially considering who they've been paired with. Like we said about Big Bill. I do think I think they're both the saving graces of it. To be
Yeah,
honest. Okay then. Thank you. Um. So Buddy Matthews is the next person on this list. That is
I
the
think
last
he's
one of
also
the
mid
bees.
card.
Mid card.
People
Yeah.
really love him, and they really love Brody. To be fair, but for me, I can appreciate him for what they are, and I think in ring they're great. And I know if I see him on a card that I'm going to watch a good match, but I just do not have the level of investment in them that other people do, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure some
Exactly.
people
It's
don't have the
fine.
level of investment that we do to fucking Brian Keefe and Big Bill,
Yes.
so you know what? It's fine.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I never really felt anything towards House of Black either. And good wrestlers, like really good matches, yes, but good for what they are
Yeah.
is just the right way to describe them. We'll do FTR together, I suppose. Get Dax up there with Cash. Well, I mean, who knows after this week of Dynamite? There's a bit of tension between them, but for now, for all we know, they're still a team. So I think it's fair to rank them together.
This is difficult
Yeah, this is a
because
difficult one.
to me they're in between mid card and creator wrestler.
Okay. Yeah, because they're definitely not up in the top two. Creator wrestlers doesn't seem right because they're so
Established.
yeah, yeah, and successful and very well known as part of AEW. Um,
To me, the legacy of them is they are one of the top tag teams of all time. I don't think they're the best tag team of all time. We'll get on to who I think is the best tag team of all time. But I think they are up there. It's been very, very dry. Very dry for a while now.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
I think they belong here in the mid card at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, this is sure to enact some strong opinions. Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho is just exhausting to talk about, so I don't want to waste too much breath on him. But he's obviously in Sammy Guevara. He is unbearable,
You don't want him on your screen.
intolerable, draining. Yeah, he just the Jericho vortex. It's just terrible.
Mhm, mhm. Here's the thing. There'll be funny moments. He'll do something funny every once in a blue moon, but he'll be like, "Ah, that was hilarious. I'm a god of wrestling," and he'll just overdo it until it's not funny anymore. Um, he's no good in the ring. I don't see what he's bringing to Ring of Honor. Um, yeah, I don't really
I
see
think
any
he's had
redeeming
some,
qualities.
like the stuff he's doing on Collision and with Bandito, like, yeah, it's decent matches for his age, but it's also like, should he have that spot when there's other better wrestlers? And
Yeah.
it's like we said, I can't remember when we said it, but we were talking about him being a draw, and it's, once upon a time, people would buy a ticket to see him, but now no one for however many years, even past 2 years, has bought a ticket because Chris Jericho is on the card,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
kind of says it all.
I mean, if anything, it might have put them off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Sorry. Okay, so let's move on from Chris Jericho. Wish I could do that in real life. Christian Cage.
It's difficult because he's like in between Elite and My Shayla. I think because he's not really been doing much, although obviously that seems to be taking a turn now. For the past year, he's just kind of meandered with the patriarchy, and they've sort of plateaued again, which isn't the fault of the wrestlers, it's the fault of writing and booking, but it does have an impact on the way that you view them. So I think for right now, I'd put him in My Shayla.
Yeah. I mean, he's the father figure we all need and want. I think it'll be interesting to see what, because we've had some seeds planted very recently with the with the patriarchy and Nick Wayne, etc. Feud with Cope has the potential to be quite good. So, yeah, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay then. We've got Chuck Taylor.
I think he needs to go into obsolete because
Yeah,
he's practically retired.
yeah. I was going to say the same
So
thing, which is very sad. Oh, but you know what's not sad? Moving on to this next wrestler, Claudio Castagnoli. I feel like we had some tension between us last time because of this. Because, if you've not been on the podcast for a while, Claudio is my favourite wrestler. Love him. Love everything about him. Think he's perfect. He's up there in elite for me. But I feel like we didn't agree on this last time. I can't remember where we settled. And
I think he
listen,
should be in My Shayla.
I get it. I'm not saying he's the best wrestler in the world. He's carrying this company. This company would be dead in the water without him. Not saying that. But I think he's a very key component.
So is Christian Cage. I think he has good
Yeah.
company with Christian Cage. I don't think honestly, in your heart, can you say that he's on Hangman's level or Christian's level? I think and that Christian's level is a great level to be at. And I've been so impressed with Claudio throughout the Death Riders. I think he's had the best like boost and surge, and he's probably going to come out the best from this because he's just looked like the absolute fucking weapon that he is, and it's been a great display of his talent, and no one can take that away from him, and it's been like the perfect role for him. But yeah, it's like elite for me, like the world champions. And I just don't think, and I know you've heard this for many, many years, but I just don't think Claudio is ever going to or should win the big one. But he's my Shayla. He's our Shayla. He's your Shayla. He's your elite Shayla.
Okay.
Did that
I'm
lessen
not
the
ta-
blow?
I'm
Or
not
make
taking
it worse?
I'm not taking it to heart. I'm taking it objectively. Objectively speaking, you're sort of right. Um, yeah. I mean, this isn't the Claudio Castagnoli podcast, so I could go for a while. So I'm not gonna.
You know
Well,
what though? It would be great to have a Claudio episode just to hear you talk about your love for him, because I know we struck up the idea and we didn't follow through with it of like rating the top 5 matches of a wrestler's career. So I actually would genuinely love to hear your overview of that of Claudio, because I think, you obviously would know those matches, and that would deepen my investment even further in him. So
I do think objectively there is a level of like personal bias. Like, we've talked about it on the podcast in the past, like a while ago, I think, where we're like, sometimes you just instantly click with a wrestler and you're like, that's my person. And I just had that with Claudio. I don't know really why. I think it's because like he's got personality, but he's endearing. He would never play like a cartoonish out there character. He's very true to himself in that sense, and he's very passionate about wrestling and wrestling in a way that feels like is quality to him, and he takes it seriously, puts a lot of effort into it. He's very no nonsense. He can do a lot of different styles, but I guess he's not got that all round sort of nuance that someone like Hangman Adam Page has, that puts them at the very top and able to run those really quite in-depth stories. But then it's like I've not seen him do that. So like if he was given the chance to do that, who knows? I like to believe that he'd be very good at it. And I feel like yes, the Death Riders is that to an extent. And he's sort of like you said, he's a key character in that and he's playing a good role in it, but he's not like the main character. That's been the story of his whole career. He's never been given the chance to be the main character. He's always been in a tag team. And I don't know why that is. Maybe he prefers it, I don't know, to be in a tag team, but that just always seems to happen to him.
maybe that's his strengths.
Yeah. I mean, certainly he's a great tag team wrestler, but he's a great singles wrestler too. But speaking of which, he's technically the champion. Should we be ranking him with the other trios champions or not?
No, we rank them individually because fuck the trios champions.
I mean, they've not
Love that
defended
title.
it lately, have they? And they've not. I mean, yes, they're presented as a faction, but it's not really like they're a team who are never seen apart. So, yeah, that makes sense. I can settle. I mean, he is my Shayla, so fine.
And also, it's like we said, right, when we created this, it's like last year, we didn't have the same tiers, and it's as I say, my Shayla is the S tier, Elite is like the SS tier, like the plus one, the A star. It's that one extra just to create that extra layer of nuance. My Shayla is not a B tier, guys. It is a top tier. We've just created a top tier above the top tier.
Yeah, exactly. But then, I don't know. But then I'm thinking, do these two belong in that tier?
Yeah.
Yeah. Redwood and Bad Apple. Yeah, I guess.
They bring out my Shaylas bring out an emotional reaction, right?
Yeah, that is true. That is right.
That is above the mid. Like your investment is higher than the mid card. That's the thing. Like everyone in the mid card right now, other than the Guns, which I do kind of want to put in my Shayla, but I'm trying to be very objective, and I think put them there for now. See where we are next year. But yeah, and I think also like going back to Claudio, I think the reason he's like your favorite is he's such a great representative of like the style of wrestling you enjoy, and
that's true.
It's always interesting to me because where we come from, like in terms of fandom, obviously we both started with WWE. We both have the commonality of Lucha Underground that we both enjoyed in NXT. But I think we kind of veered off in the indies in that I kind of preferred, not to say you didn't watch New Japan, but that was more my roots and yours was more American Ring of Honor. That was like your
that's
thing.
True.
And then obviously British indie wrestling.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, and then with AEW being created, it's like that amalgamation, that monopoly of indie wrestling. And, now we do basically share one brain cell between us, but we do have a bit of like a different route. But it's that pure wrestling, that technical style that you love and is like your roots and your comfort. And I think that's what Claudio represents for you.
That's a very astute observation. And I think you're right. And I feel like I didn't know that about myself, but you make me reflect now.
Psychoanalyzing.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're so right. Yeah. Because, thinking about it, like you said, we started off quite young kids. You watch WWE because that's what you have access to. And then you discover things you discover the wide world of wrestling. That's when you discover like your niches and what you really enjoy. And for some people, that's like deathmatch wrestling. For some people, that's like Mexican wrestling, like high flying lucha libre, like Japanese, like you said, or like British, very traditional technical wrestling. And that's the beauty of it. Yeah, I guess I did sort of lean towards. I love, yeah, Ring of Honor, like classic Ring of Honor, and like American Indies and British Indies, where it's very mat based and chain wrestling and like strong style, like hammerlock, that type of vibe. So, and yeah, I did watch quite a lot of New Japan as well. God, I miss the days when I had so many hours just to watch wrestling all the time. That level of obsession when you first discover something and you just literally consume as much of it as you can. But yeah, I guess I just, discover like what you prefer and what you don't. And I mean, I love Japanese wrestling, and I like
Yeah, of course.
the similar sort of thing. Like we have an appreciation, don't we, for pretty much every type of wrestling. But I think, yeah, I think Claudio is he's a yeah, he is like the pinnacle of that style. So
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think that's a really good point. Okay. So moving on
Going
randomly,
from a high to a low.
we have Colt Cabana next.
I think he's in Brandon Cutler territory of like he had a place, and we're not judging the legacy of the wrestler. Speaking of Ring of Honor, we're not judging the legacy. I think he is, and I felt nothing. You wouldn't miss him if he were gone tomorrow.
Like
In a nice way.
back in the day when I first discovered all this like Ring of Honor stuff, I felt a lot of things for Colt Cabana. I loved him. But I feel like in AEW has been a bit more of a comedy wrestler, and that's a whole other different style of wrestling that we've not even touched on. So, and yeah, I've not seen any of his stuff recently, so I can't say I felt anything in particular.
That would be like a good themed podcast episode, though. Like, how far can comedy wrestling go up the card? Because it seems to
Yeah.
always be like a lower base mid card kind of gimmick. But there has been like examples of good comedy wrestling, and it's like you say about Claudio, he's very serious, and so it feels very natural for him to be in a title scene. Do you have to be a serious wrestler to win the title? I think that'd be like an interesting discussion.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's kind of associated with like jobbers, isn't it? But I mean, some people would argue that Orange Cassidy is a comedy wrestler.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. So.
Yeah, that's a really interesting discussion, isn't
Would
it?
he have to change his character to win the world title?
I feel like some people would argue that he does, and people, and I know a lot of people have strong opinions about him and they hate him, but I feel like it just wouldn't be authentic to him, and like
Yeah.
the whole appeal of him winning would be that he stayed true to himself. We'll talk more about him when we get to the letter O. But at the moment, we're still on C. Last one in the letter C is Cope, who's
I really
been a
want to
hot
put him
topic
in my
lately.
Shayla. I really do. Like, I just feel quite protective of him, especially like
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put him any lower.
especially since that feud with Mox, which I think has wrapped up. And I feel like he did the best he could do, and he has had some good moments. And I think, it is difficult. It is difficult. I understand, like, I'm trying not to be too biased because, like, Edge was one of, like, my childhood, like, nostalgia wrestlers, like, such a deep, like, sentimental value. And I remember when he was retired. I remember when he came back, and, like, him coming back and CM Punk coming back was, like, for me, the same level of just, like, out of body experience. Like, what I never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah.
And the fact that like we still get to see him wrestle and have these matches, I am grateful for. But yeah, I do think we're being generous putting him in there, but fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah, I just couldn't put him lower than that.
Yeah,
I guess I don't f feel as strongly towards him like personally as you do. But I do really like him, and you can always appreciate everything he's done in wrestling. And I think he's like his character work is good. He's good, but and he promises a lot, but often the matches recently, particularly the ones with Mox, haven't lived up to the expectations. But he's getting on. He's got a lot of injuries, and I think it's entertaining. And for me, that's what's not pushing him to elite. I mean, I also think he's a key draw for AEW and bringing some more fans over. I feel like that's probably debatable, but I do think that brings some legitimacy to the roster, some familiarity for perhaps I've still not said that right. For
Yeah.
like maybe lapsed fans are like, oh, Edge is wrestling here. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. But I guess thinking about it, yes, maybe we are being generous, but I just feel like this is where he belongs, especially next to Christian.
Yeah, and one thing I love about him is his passion, and I think it's
Yeah,
quite ironic that the guy's in I believe, his 50s, and to me, and I'm not just, I'm just using Top Flight as an example. Why is this fucking 50-year-old got more passion and more drive? And yeah, he might not always deliver, and he might not always. He probably shouldn't have been in that position that he was in for John Moxley and that filler feud. But why has he got more drive than some of the younger guys? And
hmm
then that's why I'm like, do you know what? You kind of do deserve that position to an extent because
yeah,
you, you've got more fire, you've got more like get up and go about you. And I really rate that and respect that. And I think that passion is so integral to the brand and the morale. The morale of AEW is so important because like we've watched it, and when you're watching it week on week and you review it week on week and you're doing the news cycle and stuff like that, you really see how morale impacts the product.
so true.
And of course, we're judging people on their wrestling ability, but to me, it's so important that we have integral people representing the brand because we've seen what happens when people who are a bit chaotic, a bit, they can't really regulate themselves as much. What happens when they're kind of in charge? It is so important to also have like good locker room leaders, um, in my opinion. And yeah, I agree that he belongs with Christian. And I think the stuff that he did before, and we're not judging on the stuff that he did before, but I think the stuff that he did before, he really belongs in my Shayla. And I think I have a
Yeah,
lot of faith that the stuff he's going to do with Christian will feel good about the fact that he is in that category.
100% agree. We have Danhausen.
I think Danhausen should also be an obsolete because it's very clear that they're just waiting for his contract to be up. He hasn't been used in a year and a half, right? Like a very long time, and it just wouldn't feel right to rank him, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not sure if has he been on Ring of Honor recently and
No,
no.
he
Yeah,
hasn't been anywhere.
then yeah, fair enough. Um, do we want to do Danny Garcia now or leave to do it with the rest of the champs?
We could just do him. Let's just do the champions as they come. Yeah, let's do Daniel Garcia because again, there's two graphics which I didn't realize. So
Oh yeah,
let's do them as they come because it mixes him in a bit more, doesn't it?
yeah. Um, hmm.
I find this very difficult because
Yeah,
again, it's like trying not to let my emotions get in the way because emotionally, I want to put him in my Shayla, but then the fact that since winning the TNT title, he's just been relegated to Collision and has been putting on good matches, but with no actual stake around the title. No one's gunning for it. It's just, oh, I'm free on Saturday. I'll come fight you, Danny Garcia. I feel like it's so difficult because I feel like he should be in mid card, but emotionally, I want to put him in my Shayla.
I mean, it's the TNT title, isn't it? So I guess he wouldn't really be defending it on Dynamite because it's not on TNT. Is that right? but Collision is. I guess that's the logic.
Is that how it works?
I guess so.
Am I just thick?
I don't think you're thick. I did
Because
see.
I didn't know that.
I'm not born with this knowledge. I did see someone tweet about this recently. Like, everyone's slagging off Danny Garcia, but why would he defend it on a different TV network? But that's not to be. I don't disagree with anything that you said.
So is Dynamite on TBS?
Yeah,
But Mercedes also wrestles on Collision. I swear that she's had championship matches on Collision.
she's definitely, yeah, she's appeared on Collision. Whether or not she's had championship matches, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, like I said, I don't disagree with what you said.
Yeah. And I love Daniel. It's like the Guns. I love Daniel Garcia. I have an emotional investment in him, and I want the best for him. I think
Yeah.
he's fab, but it's it's the booking that lets him down. And it's always been the case of his career. It's always been stop start.
Yeah,
And the fact that
yeah.
he's able to still gain the support of the crowd throughout that is quite impressive, because I don't think everyone would survive the booking that he's been given. He never totally loses momentum, which is good.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. He manages to bounce back, and that's quite impressive. But yeah, it just seemed to be all or nothing with him in terms of booking. So it is difficult because like you want to love him, but then you're not really given the chance to. But I do feel like he's a mid carder, like a good one. So I don't feel like this is too harsh.
It's not a bad category. We have to keep reminding ourselves of that.
Yeah, yeah. Should we do Dante and Darius together?
Yeah, and put them in core. We've already discussed top flight, haven't we?
Yes, yes. Right at the very beginning, they can all go together. No need to dwell on that one. Oh, this is quite a juicy one. Darby
Spicy
Allin.
one. This is so difficult because, like, I feel like he belongs on other people's lists on Elite.
Yeah.
But for me and you, I can't in good faith put him in my Shayla because he's not my Shayla. Like, that's not my Shayla.
No, I'm
You know what I'm
like
saying?
that.
But he's not a mid carder. So it feels wrong to put him there, but it feels right. It's like the only category that feels right for me personally because, yeah,
I mean,
I think feelings.
We've spoke at length, I think, about Darby in the past on other episodes. Just like he doesn't really do anything for us. Like that Daredevil style of like I'm going to fucking kill myself in the ring. It doesn't do anything for me. And you know the fact that obviously none of us know what's going on backstage, but you know it seemed to be the logical development of the Death Rider story for him to be the one to end it, but he went to climb Everest instead. It's not,
which isn't
not a
an
good
elite mentality. Like
exactly.
He just doesn't have that top guy mentality, and that's fine. Darby Allin is an artist, right? He is very punk in his wrestling style. He loves AEW through and through, right? And that's kind of why he belongs in Elite, is he is that mascot. He bleeds it. He represents it. He is an amazing addition to the roster, but he just doesn't have the maturity to understand that if you want to be the world champion, you have to, one, edit your style, because you cannot be wrestling high risk if you're a world champion. You're carrying the whole brand. You're carrying the biggest storyline. Like, you can't do that. And second of all, it's about priorities, isn't it? And like I say, he is very much fun and kind of hedonism and living that lifestyle, even though straight edge, I believe, like it's living that adrenaline filled lifestyle, and there's nothing wrong with that, and there's a reason why he has the following that he does. But for us, I think we are quite progressive, both of us, and we have progressive opinions on wrestling styles. You know, we're no Jim Cornette, but I think me and you, we do still kind of have a bit of structure in how we like our wrestling, and we have some things that we like traditionally, and Darby Allin's just a bit too unorthodox for our taste.
Yeah, exactly. Because I can just sense people being like, well, you said you liked it when Moxley got pins in his back. Hypocrite. Different. It's different. Because there's
It's
reasons. When there's a reason to do something, like, I'm not a prude. I don't care. I find deathmatch wrestling. Maybe I wouldn't seek it out and watch a deathmatch wrestling show in my spare time. But I do quite enjoy, like, very violent matches. But, like, I feel like there's a difference between violence and just death-defying stuff for no reason, like throwing yourself off something. I hate his finisher. I think the coffin drop makes no sense as a move. I hate it. There's just a lot of instances where I've been like, you didn't need to do that in the match, Darby. Like there was no point. It didn't really add anything to the match, other than just sheer shock value. And I think I've said, like, I sometimes do quite enjoy watching him really hurt himself in a sick and twisted way, but not because not because I think it makes him, like, I'm not saying he's a bad wrestler, but I don't think doing that makes him a good wrestler. That doesn't make me enjoy him or want to see more of his matches.
For me, when I watch Derby, I'm not watching it in the perspective of like I can lose myself. It's not escapism. It's not, oh, is he going to win? Is he going to lose? I'm watching with like an anxiety of like,
Yeah,
is he going to
yeah,
hurt himself?
like
And
tension.
not is his opponent going to hurt him. It's quite exposing because I'm like, is he going to hurt himself? Is he going to do a move that's going to hurt him more than it would his opponents? Like I believe it was Revolution with the ladders and the pane glass and the books. And the books had already moved out of the way before he'd done the spot. And it's just, it's that self-indulgence.
Yes.
And it really kind of takes you out of it. That yeah, it's so difficult because I do think there's a lot to love and a lot to celebrate about him, and I just wish he could just change. But I don't think he should change. I don't think he should change. I think he should be true to himself, and if that's what he wants, that's what he wants. But if he wants to be true to himself, he's never going to truly be the guy.
Which,
That's the T.
yeah, exactly. And you can sort of tell that the people backstage want him to be the guy. They clearly really like him. Sting obviously really liked him.
Couple of them.
Sting probably still does like him. I was talking about Sting in the past tense like he's dead. He's not. But yeah, you know what I mean. But he's not our guy. Mid card doesn't feel quite right, but I think it is in this context.
Just ignore mid card and just read good for what they are, guys.
Yeah.
You just don't pay attention for that for Derby.
Yeah.
I think if the second category was called something else other than my shield, and I'm not proposing we change it, we'd probably put him in the second category. But it feels very wrong. Like my body is having a reaction to the thought of calling Darby Allin my Shayla because he's not my Shayla. He's not my boy like that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just like thinking, does this require another category? But we're not complicating at this point. We're too far in now.
No, because I think it'd only be for Darby.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think anyone else is going to have this problem.
Yeah.
Darby's just Darby, isn't he? Mm-hmm. The Derby category. We can create a category in between my Shayla and mid card and just put Derby in capital letters if you want.
I mean, we could do that. I think I want to do that for the bit, but I think he fits in here.
Yeah.
How unsatisfying would that look? There's a massive gap with just one person in it right at the very top. Ugh. Oh, and also it would fuck up my colour coding. So
yeah, he's gonna have to stay there, guys. Soz.
this isn't as nuanced as it should be. There's no Derby category. Okay, well, we've got another luchador for you. We've got um Dralistico.
Felt nothing.
Yeah, me neither. Um, sorry, I'm just trying to sort my screen out there. It's just yeah, one of those things. Not saying he's not a bad wrestler, but just no strong feelings. Okay then, we'll move on to Dustin Rhodes. Um, Ring of Honor World Six-Man Champion. Don't know what that means. Okay.
Well, whatever that means. To me, he's in mid card. I don't think there's anywhere else that's really appropriate. I felt nothing, but he did step up for the MJF thing, and I think they use him once or twice a year, and he steps up and he fills that mid card role, and he does have a way of making you care.
Yes, that is true. That is
So,
very true. And he's a vet, and he's mastered that out of yeah, like working with not much, but still making you care about it. And he can definitely still go. Um, so yeah, who is this person?
it's Dutch and then the Victor guy, the Righteous. So they should be done together.
Okay.
He's
Ah,
somewhere. I don't
is
know
it this
where, but he's
person?
somewhere. Yeah, it looks like he's wearing a flower crown.
Yeah. Okay.
This is difficult because they're not creative wrestler because they have a real. I love their gimmick. Like I think it is one of the coolest things ever. And I remember when they were like brought out and then they were just kind of used as fodder on AEW, which was a shame because I really like their act. I can't put them in mid card because they're not in the mid card though.
No.
I don't feel nothing, but I guess because I'm not seeing them, I'm going to have to put them in. I felt nothing, but what do you feel like? Where would you like to put them? What's your level of investment in the Righteous?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm
I want
afraid.
to put them higher, but it's just yeah, it's not the nuanced category for him in my opinion, but they can go there.
Well,
I
it
want
won't
better
be
for him.
anyone's category for Derby either, but sometimes you just gotta settle.
Exactly. Oh wait, is that Evil Uno there? He is there.
Oh,
But we
there
got Eddie
he is.
Kingston first. Sorry, jumping the gun.
That's all right. Yeah. So, what do you think about Eddie Kingston? He's obsolete at the moment, right?
Yeah, but he's coming back. He's only got like an ankle injury.
But he's not wrestled for fucking ages.
Oh.
I mean, when was the last time he wrestled? I know he's coming back, although I don't know. Is he coming back?
Yeah, he's only got an ankle injury. He recently updated a couple of weeks ago. He said he'd been making it worse with them, like pushing himself too far. But I need to see when his last match was on programming. Okay, I pull up. Da, 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 da.
2024. So
Really? It's been a whole year.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess he's got to be an obsolete then, hasn't he? But if he wanted, be in my Shayla, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I love him. I love him. But yeah, it's a shame for him. But it says what I've just read that he's due to be back in May. So that's not too long to wait now. And he'd be up there, up there. So we've located Evil Uno. We thought he
He's going
wasn't
right
on
with
here
his
before.
buddy.
Um,
And I felt nothing.
wow. I mean that is all that all that for I felt nothing. Well, there he is.
And Griff Garrison can go in there with him as well.
Now that I felt nothing's getting a bit thick now.
One person in Elite. I felt nothing, the biggest category of the fucking AEW roster.
I mean, our standards are high. What can we say? Oh, bloody hell. Speaking of which, hologram.
I think he should go in creator wrestler because he is quite
He's
literally
a
Tony
creator
Khan, a
wrestler.
creator wrestler.
Yep. I mean, that is. I do believe that's. I mean, yeah, we've talked about this, like, that rumor that he literally is a creator wrestler, but, you know, the whole thing about, like, just spamming the coolest moves and you know, yeah. Perfect fit. Hook. Cold-hearted, handsome devil.
He's mid card. He's good for what he is. I enjoy seeing him. I'd love to see him do more. I
He's
feel like
not
we
your
said that
Shayla.
last year. No, he's not. He's not. He is in my heart, my Shayla, but he's with the ops, you know, opping about.
Wow, you said that in a derogatory way. As if it's a bad thing.
Well, yeah, it's just the ops is a mid card act.
Yeah, I can't argue with
Them
that,
as
unfortunately.
individuals, I'm not saying Hook gets dragged down by Shibata and Samoa Joe. In fact, it's probably the other way around. That's not what I'm saying at all. But together, they level each other out to mid card.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. You're right. I agree. I'm just fucking with you. So we've got Isaiah Cassidy.
So we'll do him with Mark Quinn.
There he is. Private Party. I mean, they recently, well, I say recently, it actually wasn't that recent, was it? Challenge for the tag titles. They failed. Nothing's really happened since then.
I think they probably belong in creator wrestler.
Oh, I was thinking good for what they are.
They are good for what they are, but what they are is a generic team that is booked badly.
Right. Yeah. I can't argue with that. I mean, at least they've got
I want
a
better for
gimmick.
him. What? Shouting shots?
They party animals. Let's party. Like to take shots. I mean, yes. Saying it out loud, I realise how lame that sounds. And also, they've been doing it for a long, long time. They're quite a lengthy absence as well, and they came back and didn't do anything different with it.
They didn't get pushed enough though, did they? Like when they got that title, it was a shock win.
Yeah.
It felt like the start of a feud, and I think if they'd followed through with that feud, had them chase the belts and win it, it would have felt, and then maybe lengthened out the Hurt Syndicate program, it would have legitimized them. But
Yeah.
you know, the reign wasn't enough to boost them up into the mid card. No one's sitting thinking, right, think about this, right? The Hurt Syndicate, no one is sitting thinking, oh, when Private Party get back together, guys, the Hurt Syndicate, they better be looking over the shoulders. And they should be, that should be the reaction of a past championship holder, is you should be like looking over your shoulder, oh fuck, they're going to want it back. But they are no threat.
Yeah, that's so true. That's an excellent point. Because when you think of the fact that they beat the Young Bucks, but the fact that we're sitting here saying this speaks
the
to
Young
the way
Bucks
that
are
played
more
out.
of a threat at the like you're thinking, oh, when the Young Bucks come back, that seems like more of a viable contender than Private Party.
Yeah. Oh well.
It's just the harsh truth, guys.
Very convincing. Very convincing. And I like them, so that it makes me a little bit sad, but yeah, you're right. You're right. Well,
my Shayla,
some strong
my
opinions.
Shayla, that is my motherfucking Shayla.
You know
right
what?
there.
I'm surprised you're not arguing for Elite.
Oh, you can't put him in elite, but that's my Shayla. That's been my like my boy, my baby since like y'all don't know how far back me and Jungle Boy Jack Perry go. Like
Oh, we go
I've
way
been
back.
we go way back. And it's like it's almost like a bit and it's like I've committed to him. And I feel like we're in some like parasocial sort of fan wrestler thing where like I'm in the cult of Jack Perry.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's right. You were the only person cheering him in Wembley.
Yeah. Uh, we saw one person dressed up as a scapegoat.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
I've completely forgot about that. I erased that from my brain. Um,
Uh,
I mean,
Me and him, the Jack Perry cult.
yeah,
People are going to
two
be
members.
pissed. People are going to be pissed that Jack Perry is above like fucking Darby Allin. I love it.
I mean,
I'm
if
the
they
queen of
are,
controversy.
I, I feel like that's one of the less controversial things about this ranking, to be honest. But
Adam Cole.
I know that people
Oh,
don't
it's so
like
funny.
him. But I don't understand. I said this before. I don't understand the vitriol for him. I don't know what he's done so wrong that people really hate him. I know the whole
It's the
CM Punk
scapegoat.
situation was
It's
a
the
really,
scapegoat.
it was a massive shit show, yeah. And yeah, he kind of was the scapegoat in that situation, and maybe he did act like a bit of a cocky little shit. But I don't think he's a bad person for what he did, and I don't think he's a bad wrestler either. So
And he's very crafty. So he makes his
sitting there
own
like this, like
crafts.
a little housefly, like rubbing his hands together, like.
Yeah. I'm a very contrarian, annoying person, so I get a lot of joy out of watching Jack Perry come out and people be upset about it. That brings me joy.
You heard it here first, everyone. Estelle is a contrarian person. Fine, yeah. Jack Perry, my Shayla. And can I just say, at this point, Hangman Adam Page is still the only person in Elite. And
That's the thing that elite, it's a very coveted category and it's protected. It means something.
It's
It's like
prestigious.
we've never given out a 10-star rating in the year of podcasting
Yeah, you're right. We haven't.
because things mean stuff to us.
Things mean stuff. That's deep. That's deep. Yeah. We've got Jay Lethal up next.
It's difficult, isn't it? I think he's good for what he is. But he's also a bit of a creator. He's a creator wrestler, isn't he? He's a creator wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like mid-card like is too high.
Yeah. Creator wrestler is like battle royale fodder, isn't it?
Yeah. And that fits him. That fits
These are
him. 'Cause
people that get dunked over top rope.
I can be arsed with him. I think he's good
Yeah.
wrestler, so yeah.
I can be moderately ass. Oh,
Right, okay.
you
Hold
know who's
on.
next?
Hold on to your wig. It's Jay White.
It's Jay Bloody. Jay White is elite.
Okay.
He's not. He's my Shayla, and he's not. He's not. He's my Shayla, but he's elite in my heart. The thing is, right, when he wins the world title, which hopefully will be soon,
When?
he will be elite. He just needs that big win to cement him as elite. But as for right now, he can go in my Shayla, because what a man.
I see. The reason that I paused is because I knew you would not backtrack, but like be like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
actually, he's not quite there yet. I like him as well. I don't love him as much as you do, but he's very good.
I'm a logical person, see.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, you can be like, oh, Stell put and Lucy did put Darby Allin in mid card and wah. But it's like, I'm making sacrifices to people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, at the moment, all our faves have ended up in my Shayla, so we're
My
approaching
Shayla is
this.
like the emotional investment.
Yeah, we're
part.
approaching this very logically. I agree. Jay White is great. Oh,
Another
yes.
Shayla.
Speaking of
Another
great,
Shayla.
Jeff Jarrett going straight up there, baby.
Oh, we love Jeff.
I mean, seeing him at All In 2020,
Wow.
the pre-show panel right in front of us. I mean, it wasn't right in front of us; it was quite far away, but it felt like it was right in front of us. That was like an out-of-body experience.
I know, not just that, it was Renee and RJ as well,
Hmm.
who yeah, it was just wow, breathtaking. I mean, my Shayla, just look at that category.
I mean, this
It
is
just
just
brings I
beautiful.
need to like print it out as like a banner and like blow it up and like paste it on my room just to like look up for support when
I
I'm
mean,
feeling
this will give
down.
you a will to live.
Yeah.
This collection of men,
Yeah.
chef's
Yeah.
kiss. Okay, coming swiftly back down to earth, we have John Silver.
Yeah, he's going with his Dark Order buds.
There you go, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Zoom's telling me that we're running out of time. We've got 10 minutes left, so. Oh, everyone's favourite TV,
Oh,
Mr.
bigger than the Super
TV.
Bowl, baby.
Johnny TV, Johnny Mundo, Johnny Hannigan,
Johnny, I
Johnny.
felt nothing. That's where you're going.
Same, same. Who's he wrestling next week? I can't even remember now. That's how much I
This
care.
week, this week, he's wrestling Bandido because
Ah,
Bandido was going to wrestle Chris Jericho, but he was like, "We're going to break world records."
okay. Who's this person?
You're missing out on John Moxley.
Oh, okay. It's just because he's
So you
right
need
at
to get
he's right at the beginning that I've skipped over him. So
yeah,
should we do him now?
yeah, because he's also the next one up in the line.
Yeah, I know, but because I've just subconsciously just been like, oh, we're not doing him yet. But yeah, that's fine. We'll do it now.
Okay,
Okay, so we've got the man himself, Mr. World Champion John Moxley. I mean,
very difficult,
oh, come on. He's got to
very
be,
difficult.
he's got to be elite. He's the fucking champ.
Yeah, but like the crowd reaction to this storyline.
Yeah. And
I just don't think he's got that much charity towards him as Hangman does. I don't think he has, you know, momentum wise. Yes, he's the world champion, but I think for a lot of people, he has Sammy Guevara heat. Objectively,
okay, well, those people are stupid.
okay. Do you know what? I'm not gonna fight it. He's the champion. We'll just, you know, we'll keep him there.
Objectively, yeah, you're right. And I know a lot of people hate this storyline and they hate John Moxley because of this storyline. Like they have go away heat. They don't want him to be champion anymore. They are begging, kicking, screaming for someone else to be champ. Yes, I know, and I know it's not been the best. It's tapered off this storyline, okay, but I know we said we're looking at the now, and I am looking at the now. I still think he's brilliant. I really do. I
Okay.
think he is a reliable champion. He's a heel. You're not supposed to like him. And I get it. I get it. It's a different type of heat. I
Yeah,
know.
he's a great heel. He is the ultimate heel. But it's like again, does it teeter on go away heat for some people? Or is it just at that line and that's what makes it so brilliant?
Yeah. Eh, in that sense, it is difficult. But for me,
He is the champion though, isn't he? He is the champion.
yeah. And he's I'm trying not. I don't want to talk in the past tense, like looking backwards, because that's what we've tried not to do. But like he's been sort of like at the head of the ship for this company for such a long time, and there's been shit situations where he's been there.
It's like Copeland, isn't it? It's like you feel bad for him because it's like the storyline kind of taken away from the character. I don't know how to put it. Like it feels unfair, but then it's also that balance of we are trying to judge the now. But at the end of the day, right, John Moxley is a draw because think about pay-per-views, right? Think about Dynasty. Even if you do have go away heat for him, you will buy a ticket because you want to see him lose that badly. Whereas with Chris Jericho, it's not like that. It's like you don't care whether he wins or lose, you just don't want to see him. But with John Moxley, you do care about the outcome of the match.
Yep.
So there is a brilliance about it, and this man puts his heart, body, and soul into the company, put his body into the company this past week, and I think things aren't as clear with the storyline as they will be in the future. I think one day there'll be an interview or a book, and we'll get the full details because I think obviously he's been very involved in this, and perhaps his vision hasn't fully come to life with it. But yeah, John Moxley is a fucking draw. And he's the champion, and yeah, it does feel weird to have him there, but it doesn't at the same time. It's a complicated situation. It's a complicated situation.
It is. I don't think AEW would be AEW without him. He is the prototype of an AEW champion to me. He's synonymous with that belt. That's my personal opinion. That's where I stand on it.
And the people in Elite as well, like, they've proved themselves. Because it's very difficult for me now, because I'm looking at Jay White and I'm like, God, I want him in Elite. But it's like the people in Elite have proved themselves and are continuing to prove themselves in the present. And that's why they're there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess we'll settle on that. John Moxley in Elite. So next up we have the technical beast Josh Woods.
Don't know you, love.
I don't know this person.
Don't know you like that. Oh,
after him, we
Sorry,
have... yeah. You could.
Yeah, I'm great.
Well, you'll be great after this. Juice Robinson.
He hasn't really been doing much, but I suppose mid-card.
Yeah, it's like what we were saying sort of before, isn't it? About don't know who I'm on about.
Someone.
The other person in the little...
guns.
Yeah, the guns. Yeah, exactly. You can go with the guns. There we go. Not there. There we go. I mean, yeah, he's entwined within them, isn't he? Because it's part of that little faction that they've got going on. I mean, I think everything that we said earlier about them applies to him too. So next up is Shibata.
I think, yeah, he should be with Hook in the mid-card. Good for what they are. It's like I said, the Ops, it's a mid-card act. It's enjoyable. Every match that we've seen, we've both described it as fun. It's just light, fluff, fun. Yeah.
Should we put Samoa Joe up there with them now? Or...
I think so, yeah. Especially since, we're not judging from when he had the title and when he went away. We're judging and his injury. We're judging from since he's come back and the father-son stuff with Hook and the Ops, and that is a mid-card.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, it's great that Joe can go from, the world title to being a good mid-card act. That's a sign of a good wrestler, like versatile and
Yeah.
able to adapt. So that is, again, like we said, not a bad thing. We've got Okada next.
I
What are we thinking? I'm not
think
placing him in this category.
Okada needs to go
Oh,
into. It feels wrong to put him below John Moxley for me personally, but I don't know. I don't know because it's like, what is he doing with the belt?
yeah, it's not had for a while big stories. He's had good matches, but nothing huge to dig his teeth into since the Young Bucks have, taken a break. It's kind of left him, yeah, just sort of not a bit of a lack of direction, really.
I think he needs to go in My Shayla.
I
Our tier list is so fucked, but we were aware of that. But he needs to go into My Shayla because the elite, as I said, it's the cream of the crop, and there's no doubt that physically and wrestling wise, he is that. He is a massive fucking draw, brother. But it's the elite is like the greatness,
I
and
mean,
he's got good company. He's with Jay White. He's in good company.
I feel like we could put him in elite.
Yeah, but then I feel like Jay White should be an elite.
Is
Go on,
is
bump them both up to elite. Bump them both up to elite. Do it,
but
Lucy. Do it,
has
Lucy.
Jay
Do it, Lucy.
White's level of accomplishments in AEW, is
Yeah.
that level with Okada?
Yeah, because I love him.
I love Claudio.
Fuck, man.
I think that Okada is he's such a big part of the roster, like you said. He's such a big draw. He's one of the champions. Yeah, he
Yeah, you're
might
right.
not
You're
be
right. You're
doing
right. You're right.
something with it at the moment, but I see him as elite.
You're right. Yeah.
Are you at peace with this?
Yeah. I'll learn to be at peace with
That was the knowest yes I've ever heard.
it. Oh, who's that before him though? Is that Keith Lee?
That's Keith Lee, yeah.
He
But
used to be an obsolete because I don't even know what he's even doing at the minute.
I think he's injured. Or like
He's been injured for a very
health
long time.
problems, I believe, unless I've missed him wrestling in Ring of Honor, but
I think it's like a health problems, but also like a contract, like concoction of the two. I'm pretty
he
sure.
is, yeah, he is on hiatus due to an undisclosed injury.
Yeah, hiatus. Yeah.
Oh, look who we've got now.
The easiest motherfucking elite
The
that there ever
elitist of
was.
all the elites.
Literally, like what this category was made for. Kenny motherfucking Omega, the best bout machine, Mr. Five Star, the greatest wrestler of all time. And I say that
Oh
with the
man.
utmost sincerity. No, he's the greatest wrestler of all time. The greatest in-ring competitor of all time. The man that just
The myth,
redefined the
the
landscape of
legend.
2010s wrestling. The legend, the most humble, down to earth king that there ever was. Just it's Kenny Omega, guys.
Yeah, what
What
else
a
is there
guy.
to say? What else is there to say about Kenny Omega? I mean, I'm so glad that he's come back, so that we can put him on this list, and because there was a time when we weren't even sure if he was ever going to be wrestling again. I'm so grateful, so grateful to see him back inside the ring. And we've spoke that it's it's indefinite, but how long he's going to be back for, but we don't feel like it's going to be a long time. So really grateful for what we do get to see. And yeah, since coming back, he's been smashing it. You can't tell. He's not missed a beat. He's looked great.
It's funny as well that, like, other than Mox, those three are and have been in the elite in the past.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's the name of the wrestling company, baby.
The name of the game.
So there's nothing to add about Kenny.
No,
Just love.
just the best.
So yeah,
Luchasaurus, is that?
we've got Kill Switch.
I think he needs to be in obsolete because he's been out on injury and he hasn't really been doing much, so we can't really judge him.
Yeah. This is Kip Sabian looking very emo on this render.
He's a career wrestler.
Yeah.
He's a good creative wrestler. He's a good creative wrestler, but he is a generic 2K wrestler. But again, I hope he can do more. I hope he can, with the dissolution of the patriarchy, I hope that he gets momentum from that to bolster himself up a bit because he does deserve it.
Yeah. His whole thing, like joining the patriarchy, was very weird, wasn't it? Just like following them around. But yeah, agree with what you said. So we'll move on to Commander. He is the Ring of
I
Honor
felt
World TV
nothing.
champion. Oops. Sorry if you can see that.
Even though we wanted to put originally Alex Abrahantes in Good for What They Are, and the guy that he's managing in I Felt Nothing.
Yeah. That says a lot, doesn't it?
Don't take this tier list to heart, guys. Please, for the love of God. Just take this as the fever dream of Lucy and Estelle's mind.
You can
That's what it
engage
is.
with this in whatever way you like. You can interpret these categories in whatever way you like, because that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Moving on then, we've got Takeshita.
He better be an elite. He better be in the top bar, and I won't hear anything different for him. This is one of the best wrestlers in the world currently right now, in his prime, and will be in his prime for many, many years to come. He's an absolute unstoppable force. The sky is the motherfucking limit. The aura of this man is just, the glass ceiling is just, yeah, he should be belted up. He should be treated like the star he is. He should be paid millions upon millions upon millions. I don't like hearing the people is the next this and the next this, because he's not the next Okada, he's the next Takeshita. But in terms of a Japanese wrestler coming over and being top tier, but what's different about Takeshita is he wasn't primed in New Japan. He's a DDT guy, so he didn't even have as much clout as Okada. God, nowhere near as much when he came over. But it's kind of like reverse. He is back in New Japan now, and he should, everywhere he goes, they should lay out the red carpet for that man because he's just fucking amazing.
Absolutely. He's done some of the best matches in AEW. He's brilliant. And I love the character work in the Callis family. I think it's really entertaining. You want to know what's going to happen next. They're really believable as like a dominant like faction, and he's just unbelievable in the ring. So strong. But
Jack Perry above Samoa Joe. Sorry. Yeah, Takeshita. This is just making me laugh.
What do you want? I can move Samoa Joe up. By all means.
No.
Yeah, so we've got another Japanese wrestler. We've got Ibushi next.
He's got to be in obsolete. He's been injured and dealing with health issues for a while now. We're not too sure what the future is.
Wishing him all the best. Hopefully see him soon. So we've got our breakout star of the year. Not Kyle O'Reilly, Kyle Fletcher.
That is my Shayla.
He's brilliant.
He is. He's absolutely. He's got everything. He's got he's just. He's got all the chops. He's like Hangman. He's like Hangman in his infancy, and if he wanted to, one day he could reach that spot because this is a guy who really understands his character and who is one step ahead. He so much passion in ring, like I say, the nuance of his character. He really knows how to take things to the next level emotionally. He gets you invested, and this guy is a future world champion for sure. This guy will carry the brand in 5 years, 10 years for sure.
Yeah, he had a really star-making 2024, and I mean,
He's
that's
carried that
why.
through, hasn't he?
Yeah, 100% into 2025. His program with Osprey was incredible. That steel cage match was great. Yeah, we did like a 2024 wrap-up video if you episode if you've not seen that. Where we had our listeners vote for like various categories, breakout star of the year being one of them, and Kyle Fletcher deservedly won that. And I feel like this year is just going to be, yeah, like you said, the sky's the limit really. Taking it even further if, given the right good storylines to work with, which I'm sure he will, because you can tell when there's a lot of potential is seen in someone. So yeah, absolutely. And that'll definitely bumping up to maybe elite one day. Who knows? So the other Kyle O'Reilly.
I think he's got to go with Adam Cole in
Yeah,
Creative Wrestler. Sadly, I think, yeah, really had a chance when Adam Cole was kind of teetering on the brink of interesting in that he was kind of, his moral compass wasn't aligning with Roddy and particularly Kyle, and it seemed like Kyle was going to provide some resistance.
yeah.
But then they really just went down the Creative Wrestler route of we're generic, smiley, happy, clappy baby faces, and there's nothing there.
There's no
Great in ring
substance.
wrestler, great in ring wrestler, but there's just, like I say, no substance.
Yeah, it's so sad. It's so sad, but that's where we're at the moment.
Yeah, where we're at present.
Mhm.
Like Jay White, he should be elite, but at present he's not. And sometimes we've just got to sit with these uncomfortable truths.
Sensing there's a little bit of animosity.
Animosity. Yeah.
We've got your other fave guy, Lance Archer, one half of the Murder Hawks or Murder Machines or whatever the fuck they're called.
He can go into I Felt Nothing though, because like I do
It's not
hate
that
him a
level
little bit
of-
less.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think he's just got a millimeter more personality than Brian Cage.
Yeah, I agree with you. To be honest, I think he's
Just a monochrome.
yeah. I'd say that they're on a similar level in ring, but he's got more charisma, I think. So yeah. We have Lee Johnson next.
I've seen Lee Johnson, but I felt nothing during his matches.
Okay. I don't know him. I don't think.
You've definitely seen some Lee Johnson.
Well, I'm clearly forgetting.
Clearly not feeling anything.
Yeah. Who's this? Oh, we've got Lee Moriarty.
I felt nothing.
Me neither, but at least I've heard of him, unlike Lee Johnson. Leo Rush.
He's a creator wrestler.
He's
a cool creator wrestler, but he's a creator wrestler.
That.
Yeah.
He's a great wrestler, but he's not done much, has he? So yeah, fine. We've got our first like personality. We've got Luther.
He's good for what he is.
Yeah, it's a bit challenging when
Is
you've
it-
got people like this because you can't rank them with the same criteria as the wrestlers, obviously.
It's
but
just
he's
like an
very good.
accessory, isn't he, to Tony Storm's
Yeah,
character, and he
does what he needs
definitely
to do.
adds something to her character. So yeah, why not?
Yeah, I think that that's he's not like a manager in the sense that like she doesn't need a mouthpiece. He obviously doesn't speak for her. He's like a prop basically that adds to her character, and I think for that purpose it works well. Mark Briscoe.
He's mid card. He's good for what he is.
He is. I think he props up the mid card of AEW. Like he is a
Yeah,
brilliant mid carder. He's so fun. Um, chuck him in a 6-man tag or like a ladder match or something, and he'll make it entertaining. Um, and I really enjoy seeing him in the ring. But like I
yep.
wouldn't put him up here. Like, I don't feel that personally attached to him to make a argument to put him up more. I think this is the right place. Oh, we've got Mark Davis.
Um, yeah, he can go in the mid card.
Wrestled in that
He's good for
four-way
what
on
he is.
Dynamite.
Everything that he's done since returning from injury in his solo, I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but I think he's carved out a nice little niche for himself, and he's enjoyable in ring. And with that kind of character type, it's kind of constrained to mid card of big guy who is a heel who follows the bidding of
Yeah.
other people. That isn't a main character role, is it? It's never going to
hmm
be Elite or My Shayla. It's never going to step outside of the box, but it's good for what it is, and it works.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of the story stuff he's been doing lately has been good. But like you said, it's been him following someone else, and that definitely does constrict you within this sort of area, which again isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just does mean you're sort of limited. But yeah, he's very good in his role. Who is this person? Mark Sterling.
I felt nothing.
Yeah, me neither. We have Daddy Magic, Matt Menard, who is more often on commentary than in the ring. Does he have to go with Cool Hand?
Where is Cool Hand Ange?
He's here in
Why was
Greater
I fighting
Wrestling.
for him to? Why was I really feeling him at the start of this roster ranking?
Yeah.
Like, why was I like he needs to be? And Alex Apprehendes, did I like have a moment of psychosis?
You're a different person to what you were however long ago that was.
Yeah, I'm being grinded down by the roster ranking, and it makes you review things differently.
But are you happy for Daddy Magic to be here?
It's hard in it because like if we're reviewing him as a wrestler, he's a creator wrestler. If we're reviewing him as a commentator, he's good for what he is. But yeah, we can just
Yeah.
keep him there. We don't need to put that amount of nuance into fucking Matt Menard.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not that integral.
Exactly that. Next up we have Matt Sydal.
I felt nothing.
I don't remember him doing anything lately.
He definitely does stuff like on Ring of Honor and occasionally Collision.
Right, yeah. Yeah, very just sort of blended into the background. Can't be bothered.
Speaking of can't be bothered,
Matt Taven.
Taven and Bennett, I felt nothing. Can't be asked.
Yeah, I don't understand the the kingdom and the wanting to do something with Adam Cole there. It got convoluted and weird very quickly, and it didn't do anything for these two guys.
Well, yeah, because their dynamic was suffered massively because originally the Kingdom, it's like Adam Cole is, he's a face, and then the Kingdom want him to turn heel with Roddy, so they have purpose. then when Adam Cole comes back and he's like this righteous baby face, it's I don't, do you know, it's like, yeah, Adam Cole, Adam Cole's fucked over everyone basically because if he had a clear alignment of, right, I'm a righteous babyface, or right, I'm heel because I did this to MJF, everyone else would follow. But because his character became so fucking convoluted, it fucked over everyone else
Yeah,
massively.
yeah, yeah,
It's
exactly.
not his fault, it's the writing, but it did.
You know, like canonically, like in kayfabe, it's his fault. Um, yeah, that just leaves me sort of with indifference for these two, unfortunately. Oh my God, oh wait, have I skipped ahead? I've skipped ahead. We'll do we do the Young Bucks next?
I think the Young Bucks have to kind of be obsolete because they're on hiatus right now, and I can't tell when they're going to come back. I don't think it's going to be in the foreseeable, personally.
Yeah, probably not. I can't remember which one it is, but he's busy with his travel vlogging channel with his wife. So, yeah.
Yeah, Matt.
I mean, I'm guessing you would probably. I mean, obviously, we don't know because if they, hypothetically speaking, if they were currently here, we don't know what they'd be doing, but I guess they'd probably be in Elite.
I think they'd probably be in more My Shayla.
I wouldn't expect that
If it depends what they were doing. Because like, if they were here right now, I'd imagine they've lost the title and they're just kind of meandering about in the tag division.
Yeah.
You know, this is a no. Like I said, this is a roster ranking of right now. It's not a roster ranking of careers. Else, you know, Samoa Joe wouldn't be where he is. A lot of people wouldn't be where they are. But you know, this is we do it like this so we can have comparatives, and next year we can compare and track, and that's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I tried to skip to this person before I got ahead of myself because
So
I'm
excited
so
to talk
excited to
about them.
put this guy on the tier ranking. Max Caster. There you go, mate. Sammy Guevara heat for you.
That category could have been named after any of those people in there.
Yeah. And you know, I nearly did suggest that we name it Max Caster heat, but I thought Sammy Guevara heat was more objective. I feel like we can all agree on that one. I feel like this guy has fans. Don't really know why, but I think he does.
Many people have fans.
Many people have fans, indeed they do. Very true. Words of wisdom. This is an interesting one as of late. We've got Mike Bailey. He's only had 2 matches on Dynamite, but they've both been, I mean, star making, and he's challenging for a championship soon. So, what are we saying?
Yeah, I
Like
think
he's got
there,
to be
but I
a
think
player.
definitely in the future he'll have potential to move into my Shayla because I really, really like him, and I watched his video that he put out documenting his debut on AEW. Like I say, like I really hadn't personally, you know, and then people were like, "Oh, I remember his work in WCPW," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I have seen some
Oh
Mike
yeah.
Bailey and that, but I'm not as like aware of him as other people, but." I can definitely see him moving up to my Shayla and becoming one of my personal favourites because I'm really enjoying what he's doing. And like I said, I watched that video and he came across really well and really likable. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he's going to do going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very, very, very early days.
Hello, everyone. Probably wondering what the hell is going on because this is probably quite abrupt. But we filmed this over a period of 2 different filming days. That sounds professional. Filming days. And as such, we didn't know how we were going to cut it, but then we forgot to film an outro for part one. So I'm just hopping on to say, fun's over, guys. Fun's over for this one. But if you want to stick around, you know, we've ended on a cliffhanger with MJF coming up. So if you want to know where could MJF possibly go, yeah, and part two was a bit of like we started to lose our minds even more so. So look forward to that. Please subscribe, rate on Spotify. The ratings on Spotify are super, super helpful because we are trying to just build up a bit more over there. So even if you don't listen, if you could just do a teeny tiny favor and just go over and give a 5-star rating, that would be fucking stunning. yeah, part 2 should be out super fast. So thank you for watching and keep your eyes peeled. And also, we'll be doing the Dynamite review and also a review for Dynasty when that comes out for the pay-per-view and predictions of that. So keep your eyes peeled, keep your ears open. I don't know what the fuck. And yeah, catch you soon. Bye.
I must bid you adieu, goodbye, and good night, bye.
I wish you died in the womb!